All right, today we're going to talk about something, well, about crossing the line. Taking something that's totally normal and pushing it maybe a little too far. It's a question a lot of us might think about, but what are the real consequences? Let's dive in and find out.
So let's just get right to it. It's a pretty direct question, isn't it? And yeah, it might sound a little extreme, but honestly, understanding the limits, that can teach us a ton about our own bodies and our brains. So what actually happens when you push things way, way past the limit?
Okay, so where do we even begin with that? Well, the most obvious place is with the first thing that's gonna send you a signal, your own body. Let's talk about the physical fallout, what your body feels first when you've maybe gone on for just a little too long.
All right, so the immediate stuff, honestly, it's pretty much what you'd expect from doing any repetitive physical thing for too long. We're talking soreness, chafing, general irritation. You're also probably gonna feel some fatigue, maybe some muscle tension. But see that last one on the list? Reduced sensitivity? That's the one we really need to pay attention to. It's a super important signal from your body.
So what's happening here? Well, basically, your nerve endings have been firing on all cylinders for hours, and they just get tired. They become less responsive. It's kind of like your body's own built-in emergency brake, right? It's screaming, hey, it's time to stop. Now, the good news is this is almost always temporary, but make no mistake, it is a crystal clear sign that you've pushed past a healthy limit. But, it's not just a physical thing. Not at all. Pushing any activity to an extreme, well, it takes a toll on your mind too. So let's move beyond the physical side of things and talk about the mental and emotional strain.
And this is where things can get, well, complicated. For some people, going overboard can stir up feelings of guilt or even shame, especially if it starts to conflict with, the rest of their life. It can also spark some anxiety about the habit itself, and in some cases, it can lead to these obsessive thoughts that are just hard to shake, They start pulling your focus away from work, from friends, from everything else.
And really, that's the bottom line, isn't it? I mean, pleasure is a totally normal, healthy part of life. But when it starts getting in the way of your job, your schoolwork, or your relationships, that's the universe sending you a pretty big signal that things are out of balance.
Okay, now we get to the really fascinating stuff. Let's talk about what's actually going on inside your brain during all of this. Because this isn't just about feelings or physical sensations anymore. Nope, this is about pure, unadulterated brain chemistry. So let's talk about the main player here, dopamine. You've definitely heard of it, right? It's the brain's pleasure chemical, the reward molecule. Its whole job is to give you that feel-good hit when you do something rewarding, which of course makes you want to do it again. It's a super fundamental part of what makes us, us.
Okay, now look at this, because it shows you exactly what happens. On the left, you've got your normal dopamine levels. You get a nice high pleasure response. Everything's working as it should. But after hours and hours of stimulation, your brain's dopamine supply can actually get depleted. It runs low. So look at the right. Now you're getting less pleasure from the exact same thing. You might even find it harder to get aroused. Your whole reward system is basically running on fumes.
So, okay, we've talked about the immediate effects, the here and now. But what if this isn't just a one-time marathon session? What happens if this kind of thing becomes a long-term habit? Well, that's when the risks start to get a bit more serious. What can happen is that over time, your brain's reward pathways can literally get rewired. This can lead to compulsive behavior where it feels less like a choice and more like a need. And a much more common issue, the negative hit it can have on intimacy with a partner. Now, there are some physical risks like nerve damage or something called Peyronie's disease, but I want to be clear, these are really rare. Still, they are on the table as potential long-term consequences.
And this is so important to understand. For most people, the biggest long-term risk isn't some crazy physical injury. It's the quiet but really powerful impact it can have on your real-world relationships. Think about it. If your brain gets used to a very specific, super high-intensity stimulus when you're alone, it can sometimes make the different, more nuanced intimacy you share with a partner feel, well, less satisfying. And that can create real distance.
Okay, I know, after hearing all that, it's easy to feel a little worried, but please, hear me on this. The point of this is not fear. It's not about shame. It's all about finding a healthy balance, a good rhythm, and the best part, that is totally 100% achievable.
Let's just put this out there crystal clear. Masturbation is a normal, healthy, natural part of life. period. The goal here is absolutely not to make anyone feel bad or to tell them to stop. The goal is just moderation. It's about self-awareness. It's about making sure it's something that adds to your life instead of taking away from it.
And you know what? The steps to get that balance are actually pretty simple. First up, just listen to your body. Seriously, if you're feeling sore or if things feel less sensitive, that's your cue to take a break. Easy. Second, a little practical care goes a long way. Using lubrication can prevent most of that physical chafing and irritation we talked about. And third, and this is the big one, just be mindful. Consciously make sure this habit fits in with the rest of your life, that it doesn't get in the way of your job, your hobbies, and most importantly, your relationships. So at the end of the day, it all boils down to one simple idea. Your body and your brain are this incredible connected system, and they deserve your care and respect. Knowing your limits isn't about restricting yourself. Not at all. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge. So stay curious, stay balanced, and above all, stay healthy.